How many men have you seen lose their family, their health, their money, everything, because they couldn't control their own desire? Exactly. The same force that ruins millions can also be your greatest weapon if you know how to use it. And here's the part no one ever told you. The problem was never desire. The problem is using it like a boy, wasting it on cheap pleasure, instead of channeling it like a man. This energy was made to create, to build, to leave a mark on the world. And while you waste it, there are men out there using that same fire to build wealth, leadership, and legacy. The difference between the man who gets lost and the man who wins isn't the amount of desire, it's what he does with it. Pay attention, because the same fire that destroyed millions of men could be exactly what takes you to the top. The biggest mistake most men make is believing desire is an enemy, or worse, something to follow blindly. Many confuse intensity with freedom. They think being a man means giving in to every impulse, chasing instant pleasure, burning energy on distractions that leave nothing behind. But that's the illusion, thinking that living enslaved to desire is really living, when in reality it's just being trapped in addictions, cycles of emptiness, and a life without building anything. Look around. How many guys do you know who spend the whole week waiting for Friday just to drink, drown in cheap thrills, or get lost in screens, and they call that living? They don't even realize they're not in control. They think they're choosing, but in truth, they're being led by their own desire, like a dog chasing every bone that's thrown. And that's why they never move forward. The same fire that could give them direction, energy, ambition, gets lost in crumbs. Desire isn't the problem. The illusion is thinking it will take you somewhere on its own. It won't. If you don't master it, it masters you. Desire never goes away. You can pretend you control it, you can waste it on quick pleasures, you can try to bury it under distractions, but it's always there, asking for direction. The hard truth is this: either you command it, or it commands you. There's no middle ground. Every man has this fire burning in his chest. The difference is, most let it leak out through porn, alcohol, meaningless nights, and relationships that build nothing. That's not freedom, that's waste. It's like having a power plant and using it only to light a single bulb. The men who really win are the ones who understand that desire is fuel. The same fire that destroys a life is the one that builds empires when it's channeled. The line between slaves and builders is simple: discipline. You don't need to kill desire, you need to turn it into strength, focus, and consistency. That's the painful part, because it means you stop acting like a boy and start acting like a man. Look at history. No man who made the world bow to him was a slave to his impulses. Edison didn't stay up all night for nothing. He channeled the same energy that drags millions into addiction and turned it into inventions that changed humanity. Leonardo da Vinci didn't waste himself on cheap pleasures. He directed that force into works that still defy time. Henry Ford didn't burn his youth on excess. He took that energy and built an industry that reshaped the planet. And it doesn't stop there. The great leaders, warriors, artists, all had the same flame inside. But while ordinary men wasted it on distraction, they molded empires, created art, wrote history. Alexander the Great didn't conquer half the world because he had more soldiers, he had more discipline. Napoleon didn't become emperor because he gave in to impulse. He learned to master his own mind before mastering nations. This isn't myth, luck, or a pretty book quote. It's a law. The man who rules his desire rules everything around him. What ruins millions in disciplined hands becomes raw power. Every man feels the fire of desire, but almost all let it burn away on quick pleasures, distractions, excess, escape. And that's exactly where life slips through their fingers. The turning point happens when you realize this fire wasn't made to destroy you, but to move you. It's not about repressing it, not about pretending it's not there. It's about taking that same energy that used to drag you down and turning it into the engine that pushes you up. That's what transmutation is, when the impulse to waste becomes the impulse to build. When the urge to get lost becomes the strength to focus. When the same anxiety that once trapped you in empty cycles is redirected into clear daily action that brings you closer to what really matters. Imagine this energy as a river. Left unchecked, it floods, destroys, drags everything away. But if you channel it, build dams, direct it, that same river generates light, feeds cities, builds futures. The desire is the same, but the outcome is different. That's the key that separates the ordinary man from the man who leaves a legacy. It's not that one has more energy than the other, it's that one wastes, the other channels. And the good news? You can decide that right now. Transmutation doesn't happen by magic or inspiration. It starts when you stop behaving like a slave and start moving like a builder. When you learn to transmute desire, the game changes for good. The same energy that once cost you time, health, and purpose becomes fuel for victories you never thought possible. You wake up different. Your mind no longer gets stuck on cheap distractions. It starts to project, to build, to aim higher. Your body feels it. You've got more vigor, more focus, more clarity. The anxiety that dragged you down fades, because now you have direction. The result is simple. While others waste themselves on pleasures that vanish in minutes, you stack victories that last decades. The guy who gave in to impulse is now broke, tired, regretful. But the man who mastered the fire walks steady, because every step builds something real. Businesses, projects, reputation, respect. And it's not just about what you build outside, it's inside too. Your confidence shifts. You stop feeling like a slave to your body and start walking like the owner of yourself. You speak differently, look differently, move differently. People notice. Respect follows not because you demand it, but because your presence carries weight. The clear reward is this: freedom. Not the cheap freedom of doing whatever you feel like, but the freedom of no longer being a puppet controlled by impulse. You decide. You command. And once that power takes root, there are no limits. Your desire no longer chains you, it drives you. Now comes the hard truth. You can hear all this, nod your head, even feel that spark inside you, but if you go back to the same cycle tomorrow, nothing changes. The fire will keep burning you instead of driving you forward. This is the crossroads. Either you master this force, or you'll be mastered by it. The challenge is simple to say, but hard to do. For 30 days, treat your desire as fuel, not chains. No wasting energy on cheap distractions, no letting impulse decide for you. Every time you feel that force, redirect it to training, to work, to study, to that project you've been putting off. Turn the fire into discipline, and the discipline into building. And don't fool yourself. Your biggest enemy in these 30 days isn't the world or lack of time or anyone else. It's you. It's the voice that whispers, just today. The excuse of, no one will know. The comfort of, I'll make up for it later. That voice will try to pull you back into the cycle that's always held you down. And that's where you prove if you're an ordinary man or a man who decides. Because the one who wins this challenge doesn't go back to who he was. He walks out stronger, sharper, freer. The only question is, will you keep being a prisoner of your weakness, or will you use this energy to become unstoppable? The choice isn't tomorrow, it's now.